tell you how wonderful it is, and frankly how unusual, to walk into a room like this full of so many people who are passionate, proud people prepared to stand up, speak up, and say, we believe in Israel. Thank you so much for doing that. There are so many organizations that pull together today that I can't imagine. That, of course, is like Jewish democracy, one man, one organization. I can't thank them all, but I do have to mention in particular BICOM to say thank you to Boyuz Agudovich, to Edward Mizrahi, to Dermot Kaler, especially to Luke Akers, and all the people coming this So, with Pesach less than 2 weeks away, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, why is this conference different from all other conferences? And I think it is. And I think it boils down to one word. It's the word in. We believe in Israel. If you travel around the country to the debates about Israel, it is almost always, this house believes that. And then some statistic or some allegation. But today is not we believe that, it is we believe in Israel. It's about our relationship. It's about the spirit of Israel. It's about the potential of Israel. And that is the core of the issue. Because the delegitimizers, those who are trying to turn Israel into a pariah state, it is that spirit that they are trying to destroy. And it's important to remember that. Whatever the pretext, that is the crux of the issue. It's not about human rights as much as we have to be concerned about human rights. You know, since I came to this country in that few years, more people have been killed in Syria on our northern border than in the Arab-Israeli conflict in more than a century. But do we hear a word about them from the delegitimizers? Not a word. It's not about Palestinian rights. Do we hear a word from them about the Palestinians incarcerated in the Palestinian territories, the Palestinian Christians who are being hounded in Bethlehem, the Palestinians in Sajia in Gaza who demonstrated against Hamas and were summarily executed? Not a word. And it's not about Israel's borders either. You remember those demonstrations, that campaign against the SodaStream factory that was employing 500 Palestinians in Mishor Adumim because they claimed it was over the Green Line? Well, the factory moved. It's inside Green Line Israel. And did the campaign stop? Absolutely not. Same campaign, different pretext. Because it's not about Israel's borders. It's about what's inside those borders, and that is the existence of the State of Israel.
Brighton BDS, talking about you.
It relies on false premises, false choices, and presenting a false reality. False premises like the premise that the side that is weaker must always be in the right, and the side that is stronger must always be in the wrong. But the fact is, it isn't how much power you have, it's how you use it. It's whether every civilian casualty on either side is regarded as a tragedy or a success. It's whether the models that you hold up to your children are of heroes who save lives or people who destroy them. And it's about false choices they present, like the assumption that Israel is faced with a choice between occupation and peace. Anyone that looks at our region today, as former Minister Saar pointed out, knows that the choice is not between occupation and peace. If Israel were not today to maintain control of the West Bank, then what we would see is what we have seen happening in Gaza, in South Lebanon, in every other part of our region where a vacuum has been created, the establishment of an extremist jihadist stronghold, but this time on the doorstep of Tel Aviv or Jerusalem. And it's about a false reality. You know, a reality where today we did not uncover yet another Hamas cell in the West Bank. A reality where there is no Palestinian incitement or Palestinian intransigence. And that, of course, is the reason why it is so important to the delegitimizers to try to cut off channels of communication, cultural, intellectual dialogue and interaction, anything that might reveal the true reality. So it's a dishonest campaign, and it's a dangerous one. It's dangerous for Israel because it's part of a pincer movement. On the one hand, in our region, to try and attack Israel physically, and on the other, abroad, to try and deny us the legitimacy to defend ourselves. But it's not just dangerous for Israel, it's dangerous more broadly, because it's a poisonous campaign that destroys everything that it touches and undermines the values of free societies. You know, when Southampton University hosts a conference to undermine the legitimacy of a single state in the community of nations, claiming that this is because of academic freedom, when that same university only a few months ago refused to allow a lecturer to speak only because he was an Israeli academic, that's a problem for Israel, but more than that, it is a betrayal of academic integrity and values. When a local council passes more resolutions condemning Israel than every other country in the world put together, it's not just a problem for Israel, it is a betrayal of all of those victims of persecution elsewhere in the world who never get attention. And when a trade union threatens to sever ties with the Histadrut, the only democratic trade union in the Middle East, then that is a betrayal of the progressive values that it claims to espouse. So this is a battle for Israel, but more than that, it is a battle for British values and the values of every free society. So what can we do? The real question today is not whether we believe in Israel. I know that everyone in this room believes in Israel. The question is whether we believe in ourselves. Because at the end of the day, it's up to us. We are the people we've been waiting for. And I think that means doing three things. First, raise your voice. I have yet to meet a political leader or a newspaper editor that doesn't say to me in one way or the other, I know I can't be biased against Israel because I get far more letters of complaint from the pro-Palestinian side. These letters are extraordinarily important. Write that letter, write that email, send 3 a week. It really can make a difference. And look around, look at your professional circle, look at your local leadership, look at your faith leadership. Engage with them, educate them. If you can, bring them to Israel. You don't need to be a defense attorney for the state of Israel, but please be a character witness for the state of Israel and make your voices heard. Second, raise your kids. Raise them to love Israel and to know about Israel. Don't rely on their school or their youth movement. Don't rely on the fact that they came back from tour having enjoyed it. They're going off the campus, they're going off to work environments. These are extraordinarily challenging environments. They need to be prepared, educated, inspired. If you can, help your child or your grandchild go on a year gap program in Israel. If your community is sending kids off to university, give them a voucher to buy 10 books about Israel. Make sure they're informed. The battle isn't just for today, it's for tomorrow, and they are the ones who are going to be in the front line. And finally, once you've raised your voices and you've raised your kids, raise your heads in pride. This is a critical battle and we need your help. But don't let your relationship with Israel be defined by your defense of Israel. That is simply not sustainable. Certainly not for the next generation. So find your passion and use it to connect with Israel and with the people of Israel. You know, if you read the headlines about Israel, they're depressing. But if you meet the people of Israel, they're inspiring. They have vision. And that is our real strength. Go to any anti-Israel demonstration and you will see a bizarre coalition of radical leftists and radical Islamists. And if you want to break up that coalition, it is extraordinarily easy. You just have to say to them, I know what it is that you stand against, but tell me what it is that you stand for. Are you in favour of women's rights? Are you in favour of gay rights? Are you in favour of free expression? And that coalition suddenly disintegrates before your very eyes. We know what we stand for, we know what we believe in, we're saying it today, we believe in Israel. And ultimately, that is what this is about. You know, yes, Israel has faults and we need to work to correct them. But remember that at its core, hostility to Israel has nothing to do with Israel's failings. Actually, to the contrary, it is to do with Israel's success. The fanatics who try to interrupt Israeli orchestras and dance troupes, who try to shut down Israeli businesses here which are employing British citizens, don't care about Israel's failings. What they cannot accept is that despite all their efforts to the contrary, Israel is alive and well and flourishing economically and culturally.
Can you talk about Levi on BBS again? Especially you, Glenn.
It is inventing and creating. It is winning Nobel Prizes and exporting TV series. It is helping the developing world in agriculture and medicine and disaster relief. It's helping people rise from their wheelchairs with rewalk, helping diagnose them with pill camps, helping them avoid traffic jams with Waze. It has more patents per capita, more museums per capita, more new trees per acre, more milk per cow than any other place in the world. Happiest countries in the world. That is the Israel that our opponents cannot stand. That is the Israel that we believe in, and that is Israel with which with your help will continue to thrive and continue to tell the incredible story of a people that has finally come home to its land. Thank you.